Welcome to Shaw's Kyle here, and welcome to my review of Central Intelligence. Central Intelligence is directed by Rawson Thurber and stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, and is an action comedy sort of following Kevin Hart, who sort of he was in high school. He was sort of he was sort of the jock. He was popular with everyone. He was a nice guy. He was popular. He's in all of these different groups. He was winning all of these competitions and all of these awards, and he was just like sort of one of the most popular people in school. And then also there's Bob, who's sort of, he's sort of one of the the less popular kids. He's not really popular with a lot of people, and one day he gets sort of humiliation from the entire school, and then after that nobody sees him. Nobody sees him for years and years and years until eventually he contacts Kevin Hart's character, the popular character again, and so they meet up, and then they find out that both of their lives are quite different to how they probably would have turned out, and then a whole adventure starts from there. First off, this movie is frankly quite hilarious. Out of the two Kevin Hart movies I've seen this year, there's also this and Ride Along 2. This is the better of the two. This movie, I didn't particularly like Ride Along 2, but I actually think this movie is honestly hilarious. Seriously, both Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, both of them sort of play a role that as I say, usually don't really play, because in certain movies, like they always are, they're not necessarily typecast, but they usually play a similar enough character in most of their movies. Like, let's say Dwayne The Rock Johnson is sort of more of the tough guy in movies, and then Kevin Hart always plays a certain character as well, and sort of they always, not always, but they usually go to a similar archetype of a character. But in this, they play completely and utterly different characters. Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character is honestly fantastic. You think that he's going to go into a certain way. You think he sort of it's completely different. He's very like effeminate. He's very effeminate. He sort of likes pancakes. He likes unicorns. He has a fanny pack as well. He's very effeminate, and then you sort of find out he's this big sort of action hero as he is in most of these movies. And then Kevin Hart also plays a bit of another character. Out of the two, he's probably the straight man. Like, he doesn't make as many jokes. He's sort of more reacting to a lot of the humor. He's absolutely hilarious. Seriously, both of them are. This movie is extremely well directed. Both the action and the comedy is extremely well handled. Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart have a lot of chemistry, which I didn't see coming. One problem is that I think it takes a bit too long to get into to really get into itself. I think it takes like, it's good like 20-30 minutes until it gets into itself. Like, it has a couple of good scenes there, but it takes a good while to get into the actual plot, if you know what I mean. And I think they could have, well, not that they could have probably done it, but like, I think it probably should have been a shorter time to get into the main plot, if you know what I mean. And certain elements are a little rushed, if you know what I mean. But there is a couple of scenes that are like absolutely downright hilarious. A couple of the jokes don't work, but most of them are really great. A lot of the characters are great. A lot of the actors are great. Um, Certain characters don't really get a lot of screen time. Like, there's not a huge amount of characters in the like movie that I like. Well, there's certain characters that I think should have got a bit more development. If you know what I mean. Like, I think they should have got a bit more screen time. But most of the actors and characters are fantastic. This movie is extremely well directed, extremely well acted. I enjoyed myself thoroughly throughout it. It actually has a couple of really good plot twists and surprises. They're not like shocking, super like, oh, I never saw it coming, but it does have a couple of genuinely good twists and turns in the story. It has a couple of more mystery aspects. It is quite good. I really did enjoy myself. At times it does sort of get a bit slow, and I do think it should have gotten to the plot a bit faster, but I really did enjoy myself, and I do think it is a really good blockbuster, hilarious and great. Filled with action. I don't know. I actually really enjoyed this movie. It was quite shocking. I thought it was going to be sort of. I didn't think a lot of it. I wasn't extremely excited. I was excited, but I wasn't like. I didn't think it was going to be that great, but it actually did surprise me. It was quite good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you have seen Central Intelligence, what do you think of it? And if you haven't, are you going to go see it? And do you like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's movies and Kevin Hart's movies? What are your thoughts? If you guys have enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. Bye.